Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. We're getting going here in just a moment. And oh, there, okay, good. Making me worry there, Addies. Normally you say something right away. All right. There we go. All right. The other day when we were doing our scenic flight, I said we were going to fly from Evansville over here to St. Louis downtown, but I figured we'll try to go a little bit farther. So it's going to be about an hour, probably about an hour 20, maybe hour and a half long flight. We're going to take off from Evansville and fly to the Spirt of St. Louis Airport in Missouri. So that's what we got there. So I know there's a bunch of lines and whatnot, but this is a pretty reasonable flight. So anyway, and we are not in the Cessna 172 today. We are in the Cessna 182T for turbo. So it's a turbo prop. I'm going to adjust the time a little bit because we need some sun. I need to blow my nose too. There we go. Perfect. All right, so let's get in here. We'll get on the tarmac, and I will be back in just a second. All right, I'm back. So here we go. Once it loads up. All right. So let's make sure we don't want our flight assistant talking to ATC just yet. We're going to get everything started up, get the plane started up, and then we'll get everything going. So let's get all the switches on. Get that on. Prop in. Oops. Mixture in. And it should be all set from here. There we go. Got our lights on. There we go. There's our plane. Alright, let's contact the tower for clearance.
Clearance delivery at Ease 505 IFR to Spirit ready to copy.
Ease 505 is cleared to Spirit Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 36 climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Departure frequency is 124.02 squawk 3731.
At Ease 505, cleared to Spirit Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 36 climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Departure on 124.02 squawk 3731.
At Ease 505, read back correct. Contact ground on 121.9er. Good day.
Ground at Ease 505 with India ready to taxi IFR.
At Ease 505 taxi to and hold short of runway 36 via taxiway Charlie.
All right.
Contact tower on 118.7 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 36 via taxiway Charlie at Ease 505.
Alright, we can let them talk to ATC now once we get to the end of the runway. Alright, we're just going to pull straight ahead. Morning, Fish Guns. How are you? Nice to see you here. Right. Oh, well, sorry to hear that. That sucks.
Evansville Tower at Ease 505 at runway 36 ready for departure IFR to Spirit.
Addis 505 altimeter tray 0.25 wind tray 14 at 8. Cleared for takeoff runway 36.
Cleared for takeoff runway 36 at Ease 505.
Right, so I'm going to do this also. I'm going to go ahead and set up our vertical speed so that as soon as we get in the air, we'll have a nice climb speed. Autopilot. So yeah, there we go. Let's line up and we'll be on our way. All right. We'll get all the way up to the lines there, and then we'll get in the air and get on our way. So I need to go. Alright, I think we are all set. Let's go. Ooh, crap. Ooh, shoot. What, we almost went over. Why did that almost happen? Goodness gracious.
Alley Flight 05, contact Evansville, departure on 124.
There we go. We're in the air. We're on our way.
Good day.
124.02 at East 505. Evansville departure at East 505 is passing 1,100 feet, climbing 4,000 feet.
Careful what? It's fine. I got it. 025. That should be right where we're at already. Let's just make sure. Yep. Alright. Perfect. Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. Well, I was trying to keep the nose down so that we could get the speed, but it, I think I went a little too much. Alright, so we have the wind already set up for us. Alright, so let's look at our we'll activate that as we get closer. Shoot. Oops, daisy. So we have, I think we're coming in on 08 right. Nope, coming in on 26. Nope, 26 left. So that should be all done. Should have been in there, but I just want to... Good morning, Mick. How are you? Nice to see you here. We're almost at our cruising altitude of 4,000 feet. Taxi lights here. Get it to line up. There we go. All right, we are on our way. Yeah. Probably bring the prop back just a bit. We're about at our cruising altitude. Yep, we're there pretty much, so yeah, we're in good shape. Cushy little cabin here. Ooh, we have a flare shield too. Nice. Well, it doesn't. I don't know that it would do much, much good. So, Mr. Addies, I was watching you on the road stream this morning. You were having a doozy of a time, weren't you, young man? I was watching that, and you were just, you were not happy. I don't know what was going on, but you've had some. Well, you were having bad luck on FIFA last night, and then you're having bad luck on the road this morning. Got back from blood test, but they didn't get any blood flowing because they think I got scarring. Oh, yep. Yeah, if they keep going for that same spot, that vein's gonna be pretty much useless for a while. Fortunately, they're gonna have to try something else. That sucks, though. That's a painful experience. I have no doubt. Chuck was making, so I had to rest my. Yeah, just take a break, Addies. It'll be there when. Just give it a rest. I know you like to do that because otherwise you're bored and then you're up to no good. So just take a break and just relax. Watch streams and That's unfortunate, but it'll be fine. Just the next time they're going to try the top. Yeah, I remember when I was a medic when we do blood draw. If somebody had deep veins or whatever that was really hard to find, that if we could find the one on the top of the hand, that was the other method if necessary. But even that can be a bit painful because I think the veins are a lot thinner, so it's easy to blow them. Next thing you know, you got bruised up hands because of they've blown the vein and everything. So, yeah. Just cruising along in our little turboprop. I don't know that the engine sounds are super accurate. It doesn't sound like it would be, but I could be wrong. We're flying over the Midwest here. So Evansville Airport, the one we took off from, is in the state of Indiana, and we're going to kind of cross over. We're going to cross over into Illinois and then into Missouri. So we're having the tri-state hit the tri-state area, I guess. And see, what I didn't realize, I was kind of looking at all this earlier, yesterday evening and this morning. Remember when we did the, let's go back on the night they have put a needle in the bottom of her hand. Yeah, it's a, I'll tell you a story in a minute, but, so remember some way back last year, I did the flight from, I think I was in the Spitfire. We found the gateway, right? The arch. So that part is in Missouri, right? The airport that we took off from, and I didn't realize this, is actually located in Illinois. Because I was like, wait a minute, it says St. Louis. Why is it in... So yeah, the way Illinois is shaped, it dips down around the state line of Missouri, right there. So some of the airports, they're named like St. Louis, but it's like they're not really in, you know, they're around the St. Louis metropolitan area, but they're not in the state of Missouri. So, lesson learned. Now, quick story time. So when I was going to medic school, one of the things they always told us is it's easy to go for the area on the arm there. As one of my colleagues used to say, the bendy joint, right? They go right there in that area because that's usually the best place that most people find the vein, you know, or somewhere along the forearm, but generally that's the place to go. Now there's a vein that runs right around the top of your thumb, and so they challenged me when I was in medic school to put an IV line in the thumb. So I did it. Now, most people think, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just that there's the vein right there. It'll be fine. The person who I gave that IV to or put that line in on said they thought it was more painful than when you put it into your arm. You know, that area right there. And I think it's because it's very thin. It's usually right near the bones and everything. I think the pain is more prevalent there because there's not a lot there around the thumb, you know. So yeah, I can imagine it is pretty painful. But they always told us you may not be able to always go in that location for an IV line or anything. So you have to get at least a saline lock in so that if you have to give fluids, you've already got a good port. But yeah, it wasn't hard because you could just kind of guide it. You could see the vein, and it's an easy glide right in. You know, you just know which angle to go in, and bam, you're there. But yeah, they were like, oh my god, that was more painful than I expected it to be. So yeah, it's not. But a lot of people, they, as they get older, they have to get the blood drawn from their hand for some reason. The veins in their arms are much harder to find, and part of that may just be that they're not as well hydrated when they were younger. They don't drink enough water, and so that what makes your veins run deeper and harder to find. If you're well hydrated, your veins are going to pop fairly easy. Okay, thanks, Mick. I wasn't sure. But yeah, that's part of it. If you drink water regularly and you stay hydrated, the veins will be easier to find because they'll be closer to where like if you see like the bodybuilders and people who are in good shape who are also hydrated, you could see the veins on their arms easily, right? So if something were to happen, you could basically we call it like, oh, that's an easy target. I could hit that from miles away, So yeah, that's why when you see people like that, they're well hydrated. So if your mom drinks a bunch of water and gets hydrated before she goes to see that specialist here in a couple days for whatever reason.
Contact Indianapolis Center on 128.3.
that might help out a little bit. But that's kind of a short notice thing.
Addis 505, 4,000 feet.
Addis 505 Indianapolis, center altimeter, tree 0.25 continues to Sierra Alpha Mike as planned.
So, but yeah, as long as you're hydrated, that helps out immensely. But if the veins are scarred, even if you're well hydrated, it's not gonna change much, you know. Yeah, that's the key, hydration. Alright, just real quick, let's have a look here at our be at 1,900 feet. Okay. All right. Good to know. All right. Yeah, we'll turn to the left here, coming up. That looks like we've got a thin cloud layer just coming in. See if the changes anything. I'm sure we'll get an updated altimeter reading as we get closer to our airport here. Anyways, let's see what else. Tomorrow we are going to be doing the flight from we're doing Oakland to Las Vegas, the one that we were going to do on Friday that we didn't get to because the systems were acting goofy. So we're going to give that a go. I've been researching the says the model of the sim plane because they don't have the issue. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Fish guns. Well, that's the most frustrating part, is that because a person on the console has one experience, it does not mean that the PC crowd's going to have the same thing. And that's, again, that whole closed garden thing, that there's issues that they don't know about until people start reporting it and saying, well, I'm finding this issue and I don't know what to do about it. And, you know, and then the other problem, too, is that then you have... they'll say, well, they can't replicate it. Okay, Joseph.
Center, Addis 505, 4,000 feet.
Addis 505, Kansas City. Center altimeter tree 0.27 continue to jettison as planned.
There we go. so that's the frustrating part, is because the PC community says, well, I'm not having the problem, so I don't know what the big deal is. That seems to be an ongoing issue with the within the sim itself, is that because the PC crowd isn't experiencing the same thing, then it's like, well, we don't know what to do then. It'd be different if the PC crowd was like, we're having the same issue, and oh my god, it's and part of it is because they're not flying that version of the A320neo. They're flying the fly-by-wire version. The Asobo version, I think, is probably got its own issues, but they confuse the two, I think, sometimes. They just see A320, and they're thinking, oh, I'm flying the fly-by-wire A320, so it doesn't matter, you know. So, yeah, I think that's part of the issue as well, because we don't have the same things as, you know. And certainly they could, I'm sure if they had to, they could probably find a mod around it. You know, they could mod their way out of the problem. But because that's not an option that we have, you know, we're kind of stuck with what we got. So, yeah, I see that a lot of times, because even when I post something in the forums, I'll say, well, I'm having this issue, and everybody's like, well, I said, because they won't see that I put that I'm on the Xbox, and they'll start talking, well, contact these folks and do these things, and well, that's all good if I was on the PC side. I'm on the Xbox side. And it gets a little frustrating because people aren't like paying attention to what you're, you know, when you say I'm having this issue on the Xbox, they automatically, well, but so you're on the PC? No, I'm not on the PC. I don't have the same file systems that you guys have on the Xbox side or the PC side. So yeah, it's very, it can be very frustrating. Just trying to get help. But I have O2 if we need it, I guess. Oh, I didn't know that. Good to know. The view out the back there. So my seat's moving up and down a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's got little springs in it. For comfort. But yeah, that's the unfortunate part of the sim thing in general, is that because there's two different situations going on, a lot of people just say, well, if it's not happening on the PC, then it's like, it doesn't matter, you know. Just like I've been reporting the problem with the T-45C, and sure enough, somebody posted my thread the other day. Well, I've been flying it. I don't have any issues. Well, then you're one of the rare people that's not affected by this. You know, for whatever reason. Again, I don't know. I don't recall if they said they were on the PC or the Xbox. If they're on the PC, they may not have the same issue as I, you know. So, yeah, a lot of people jump to those conclusions where they think, oh, there's nothing wrong. My stuff works fine. Well, I'm telling you, mine doesn't, and I'd like to have somebody look at it and see if they can figure out what the problem is. But that's like, you know, for whatever reason, that's like pulling teeth, you know. So, but I did talk to one of the folks who works for India Fox Techo, or Foxed Techo, or Foxed Echo. I don't know. That whole name thing just, it's kind of weird. But anyway, IFE got a really nice reply, and they said, yeah, we're aware of the problem, but because Microsoft can't replicate it, our hands are kind of tied. But I said, well, it's, you know, I gave them all the stuff when it happens, and they said, okay, well, we think it's this, but I'm going to go back to Microsoft and say, can you look at it from this perspective and see if that's what's causing the problem? So there's some developers out there that are very, they'll, within a reasonable amount of time, they get back to you and all that. So I feel confident that they know there's a problem, but they don't know quite how to fix the problem, because since Microsoft can't replicate it, then what I should probably do is make a short video and then and then send it to him via email, and then he could forward it to Microsoft and say, okay, now we see what's happening. Because telling somebody is kind of like, it doesn't really work. You're trying to describe everything, but I think it would be easier if I just made a short video and then downloaded it and emailed it to them. That would probably be the better way to show what it is that's happening, so that they have some visual evidence of some kind. I don't know. I thought I put it on like 10 medical points. It is. Huh. It's interesting that we're seeing this already at the top there. Huh. Okay. That's fine. Oh, there it is. You can see there's the. Looks like. Yeah, there's a KFWC. There's an airport to our left. Where'd it go? That's got to be it down there. And then there's another one over here to our right. Somewhere over here. And the markers are playing up. They're not giving me the... Ooh, look at... It's snowy here. Look at this. Check this out. Ooh, it's going to get cold here in a minute. It's not already. Britain's oldest pub nearly shut its doors, but they found another buyer. Wow. Yeah. Look. That's sad. That they had to find a buyer in order for it to stay open. That's really sad to hear. But I mean, I think, if I had a business and it's been open for many generations in my family, and then I had to close it, I'd feel very... it would probably make me physically ill, that after all those generations, whether it's, started with your grandparents or great-grandparents, and it was in the family all that time, and then to lose it all, that would just be the most gut-wrenching thing, I think, ever. And most of it would be because there's nothing you could do to stop it. That's the unfortunate part. Your hands are tied. Yeah, look, it's all snowy here. Ooh. It should be snowy when we get to our airport too. Okay, that's kind of cool transition though, that it started off with little patches and now we're going to be flying over an area that's more snow covered. It's pretty neat. Hello, Mela, how are you? Nice to see you here. Yeah, hopefully the new buyers can do something with it and keep it going and everything. It's just with the laws and all that, it gets harder and harder, and there's not much you can do about it, unfortunately. So anyway, I don't want to go off on a rant because I could, but it wouldn't serve any purpose. But yeah, it's I'm doing okay. Just got a lot on my mind, and we're already into February, and it's just time. It's like the year's going by quickly already, and it's like, where's the time going? So yeah, just a lot going on, but I'm doing okay otherwise. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break here, get some water and everything, and I'll be right back. It's all good, Milla. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just a lot going on, and it's like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders sometimes, and I don't like that always. There's not much I can do about it. So there is another airport there, off to the front left. Yeah, look at that, snow-covered plains. The bad part is out here, that wind chill can really kick up and just, cut right through you because there's nothing blocking the wind. That's one of the things I didn't like about living in Kansas. It's kind of odd. The marker I'm going to is over this way, but this one popped up. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, the way I picked was going this way. Huh. I think. Yeah, it should turn to the right. Did you shout at the screen? You know, Abella could have just recorded you, Mick, to do the shouting. When you guys shouted FIFA and everything. Which way are we going? Which way are we going here? Alright, going this way. Alright, there we go. It's interesting that one came up instead. Well, we're just going to fly this track then, and we're going to fly that for... Let's just have a look here. Oh, that's our... Oh, that's our approach. Oh, I wonder if I... No, that was correct. Oh, alright. So that's our arrival phase coming up here in front of us. It says 66 nautical miles. Got a little bit of a headwind. Looks like. Alright, so we're just going to go with that then. Put the heater on. Well, let's see. Do we have... I think there's a... There you go. Hot air entry. There we go. So it said you broke the landing gear. Wow. You know, I was watching that Ice Pilots NWT, and they sold these two aircraft that are used for firefighting. You know, they can go over a lake and scoop up water, and then they can help dump that over. You know, and then they have the foam mixture with the water that helps. It's a fire retardant system, and so they brought two of them over. They flew them all the way from Canada, the Northwest Territory of Canada, all the way to Turkey. And so part of the deal was, and they kind of sprang it on them, they wanted the pilots who brought the aircraft over to train their pilots on, you know, how to operate the plane and everything. And they had to jump through a bunch of red tape just to get that to happen. And one of the aircraft was on approach because they were doing touch and go landings just to practice getting used to how the plane operates, you know, just practicing touch and goes. And one of the student pilots didn't lower the landing gear on landing. And so it skidded down the runway. They climbed back out, but then there was all this damage. They got the landing gear down. They thought there was a system malfunction, and it turns out it was pilot error. But they had no hydraulic pressure, so they were worried that if the landing gear would hold or not. And so they got it down and everything, but they had another firefighter aircraft. They had to fly that one over to replace the damaged one, you know. But it was just the spark, you know, man, this thing's gonna just go up, you know, it's gonna spark and it's gonna somehow get to the fuel tanks, and that's gonna be it. This is gonna be a massive explosion on the runway. And luckily, the experienced pilot took controls, throttled it up, and climbed out. But they saw the gear was down when they came around a second time to land, but they were worried whether or not if the landing gear was actually going to hold the plane up on landing, and it did. But yeah, it was just, oh man, just to watch that just scrape, you know, it's like, what in the world are you doing? So yeah, very, very strange. I think why is that one showing up and our one in front of us isn't? I wonder if we're turning that way next. But yeah, you guys see me do it. I landed the A320 on the runway without the gear down, and I was like, why is it I'm getting all these alarms? And I land and I'm like, wait a minute, why can't I turn and everything? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to put the gear down. So, hello Addies, welcome back. We're still plugging away here. on the flight, so you haven't missed much of anything. So yeah, but to say, but you landed. Huh. That's kind of strange, though. I mean, did you look outside the plane at all, Bella? You know, when you landed, did you look around to say, like, okay, yeah, this part of the landing gear was, you know, it's crumbled or whatever, because maybe you came, you know, hit it a little bit too hard and it just crumbled, or did it just, you know, come up with some numpty excuse and then it just, you know, or at least it was a numpty excuse, but yeah, that's a bit strange. I wonder if that's just a glitch or something. Dog out here walking on the snow. His little feet must be getting a little chilly. Why she's allowing him to do that? You ought to just pick him up. That's probably not a good thing. Of course, somebody parked in front of the dumpster, so they didn't come and get the trash today, so that stuff's going to pile up again. Oh, Rob, I was very confused, though. I did come down a bit hard and quick, but still there. Oh, So it's possible one of them collapsed, but or not collapsed, but was damaged enough that it gave you that warning or something, or that message, I guess, that you had goofed it up somehow. So, yeah. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, it sucks to put all that time in and then it's just like it didn't even matter. So we're still heading towards our next waypoint, which is not over there. It's up ahead in front of us here somewhere. So let's have a look. Actually, let's zoom out. Have a look at what's coming up. Alright, so basically that's what we got coming up. Oops. Is all this. So there's our approach marker there in front of us. So this is correct. For some reason this other one's showing up out here today instead of the one in front of us, but I think it'll pop up once we get a little bit closer. Then we're going to turn in and then we will once we get to Horus, H-O-R-U-S, once we're there and making our way towards the airport, then we'll set up our approach. We'll we'll get that done, and then we'll be on the ground. Now the cool thing is, and I didn't know this, so I'm this is one of the things I'm learning about. So if you notice. So there's our runway. That's our airport right there. Runway 26 is the one that we're going to land on. Now, if you go missed, in the procedure, there's a way that you could activate the missed approach procedure, and it will take you to this whole point right here, this FTZ, and then you wait for further instructions there. So that's kind of something they built into this this version of the G1000. This is the glass, what they call the glass cockpit. So, but this one it's a little bit different than the one that we have in some of the other aircraft. It doesn't have the autopilot and everything, the buttons here. It's in this little system down here. So, yeah. But we're going to see if we can activate the ILS approach, and I'll hit the approach mode, and when we get close enough, and it should glide us in or guide us in, but if not, I'll just fly it in manually. It's not that big of a deal. So that's what we've got coming up in front of us. So I'm going to leave this right here until we get a little bit closer to that marker. So we'll do our usual. We'll start reducing our altitude as we get closer, and then we should be set up. We got to be at about 2,000 feet. It's 1,900, but it'll probably have us at 2,000, so we're right within that limit to capture the ILS and everything, and then we should be set to go. The only thing we'll have to do is manage the speed. We don't have an auto throttle, so that's the only thing. At least I don't think we have an auto throttle. No. So we'll have to do that ourselves. You can't open. The cool thing is you can't open the door and the windows on this. So when we land, I'll show you the doors being opened and everything. It's kind of cool. I think it's one of the few Cessna aircraft that we have that you can actually do that. So, hello, Chris. How are you? At least you're not here right when we're getting ready to land. We still got a bit to go. It's all snowy here over the Midwest. Our airport there in the distance. So right now, let me just kind of zoom in and look at that other screen. So there's the airport. No, there it is right there. So that's the one that I took off and landed in the Spitfire when I flew between the gateway to the west. You know, that's that airport here. Now this part here is in, I think we're in Illinois right now, where we're at. Let's see, it's 42. Okay, so let's zoom back. All right, so there's now. So just kind of talking about the so all this information, right? If you look, now this is one of the cool things. This, I think, was part of the most recent update to the G1000 from Working Titles. So all that stuff is all either you have airports, right? These little, those right there, that's an airport. There's another airport there. You have different types of airports.
Contact Kansas City Center on 124.3. Good day. 124.3 Addis 505. Kansas City Center, Addis 505, 4,000 feet.
Addis 505 Kansas City Center, altimeter 30.27 continuous planned.
Perfect. So all that information's there on this system, right? And then you can also change. You can change it like that. So yeah, all kinds of neat little things. don't think that works, but... Oh. Oh, nope. Yeah, that's the... one of the things that you can look at. Yeah, pretty cool. All kinds of information. Oh, 5 viewers. Thank you all for coming in. Do leave us a thumbs up if you feel that you can do so. It doesn't cost you anything. We do try to fly 7 days a week, as long as my schedule allows for it. Tomorrow we will be in the 737 MAX going from Oakland to Las Vegas. And we'll talk about the next couple days tomorrow. I know Friday we have a viewer requested flight coming up. I gotta find my notes for that. I think I know where I put them. There we go, I think. Yep. That's the 11th, that's the 18th, so the 4th. Where's my one for the 4th? Or not, oh, we already did the one for the 4th, that's right. So yeah, the one coming up for the 11th. Yeah, okay. I'm losing track of my days here. Yeah, we did the flight for Mick on the 4th, that's right. So I know for Friday for sure we're going from... there's 2 flights. Oh yeah, we're doing 2 flights because yeah, both of them are fairly short. So yeah. One is for Neocon Gaming, the other one was for Cladino.
Going to 127.7 Addis 505. Kansas City Center, Addis 505, 4,000 feet. Addis 505, Kansas City Center, altimeter 30.27, continue as planned.
Nice energy. Oh, Addis, no! You don't need to be drinking that crap. Oh, Lord, man. Why do you... You don't need to be putting that crap in your body. That's why you always feel like garbage. You gotta get away from that stuff, Addis. You need to drink water. That's what you need to be doing. Your body needs water, not energy drink. Oh, Lord. Joseph, you got to get away from that garbage, man. You're just doing more damage to your body. I know it might taste good and everything, but it's not helping you. I wonder why you always have ups. Well, you need to drink the water, not the energy drink. You should have bought that stuff. You always talk about you got stomach aches and everything. No wonder why. You're putting that garbage into your stomach. It's not helping you. What? What are you talking about? Yeah, that stuff's not helping you at all. I know it's addicting, but you got to get away from it. You got to break free of that addiction somehow, because that's what it is. It's not what? It's not what, Joseph? Well, you buy this stuff and you're putting it into your body, and it's doing damage, Joseph. You may not think it. You may think that it's not, but it is. It's just like if you drink soda all the time, it's going to affect your stomach at some point. You know, just drink water. That's what your body needs, not energy drink. I'm telling you. The sooner you can get away from that stuff, the better off you'll be. It's like when I was in Afghanistan, and people come in and they're taking all these supplements for bodybuilding and everything, and they've never taken it before, and then they come in and like, oh, I don't feel so good. Well, how much supplements do you take? Well, I'm taking all this stuff and done it. Well, have you ever taken it before? No. Well, then maybe you need to lay off, because obviously your system is not responding to it very well. But they spend all this money on all these, protein powders and all this other stuff, and they're just like scarfing it down, but they're not drinking water really that much. Some of them say they are, but who knows? And then they're not eating very well. You're putting all this stuff in your body, and if you don't know anything about it, you're going to end up destroying your system. You're doing damage to it. But that's what people do. They spend all this money and they order all this big boxes of all this stuff, the protein powder and the pre-workout, the post-workout, and all this other stuff. They're just, and then they come, oh, I don't feel so good. Yeah, I can see why. You're just putting all this crap into your body. You think it's helping you, but it's really not. Because somebody has told you, oh, buy this stuff, use this promo code and you'll get a discount and everything. I'm almost certain 90% of the mail coming into Afghanistan to our area was all that supplement crap. Because they couldn't get it at the little PX on base, right? Or they could get a few things just to get started, but once they got hooked, they were ordering that stuff online constantly, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on that stuff. They don't do their research ahead of time either. That's part of the problem. They just assume that they listen to somebody who's done all this stuff before, and then they they find out that it's not really that good for them. Okay, Joseph. If I go downstairs right now and go outside, I'm sure it's cold as well. But the basement at least is a little bit warm as long as somebody closes the door behind them when they leave the apartment. Going out to the back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nick's saying it. Abella's saying it. Addie's, you gotta, one way or another, dude, you gotta break that cycle, because you're doing more harm than good. You know. But they're not gonna, the problem is that those companies aren't gonna tell you that stuff. It's just like Coca-Cola. If you've never seen what Coca-Cola can actually do to your body, look, people poured Coca-Cola over battery acid, and it ate up the battery acid. If you're putting that in your body on a regular, like, not just, you know, once in a while, if you're drinking that every day, every hour, or, you know, like you're just going through like 2 liters a day, that's going to eat up your stomach. So you have to have natural acid in your stomach, but if the Coke if Coke can eat up battery acid, there's no telling what it's doing inside your stomach. But the folks that that have sold you on that stuff aren't going to tell you what damage it's doing to you, because they don't want you to know. They'd want you to, you know, just buy it. It tastes good. You'll feel better and all this stuff. You know, Coke used to sell people on the fact, oh, you'll feel better if you have a Coca-Cola, and it's refreshing and everything. All it does is make you dehydrated, because there's nothing good in it. It tastes good, sure, but at the end of the day, if you're not drinking more water than the Coke that you've consumed, it's gonna be a mess. What, Coca-Cola? Well, I mean, it's like the early version of an energy drink. It really is what it is. You know. What, about the battery acid? Oh yeah, there's a video somewhere out there. It's probably still on YouTube. Somebody had battery acid, you know, around on their car battery, and they poured Coke and it cleared it right off. It was like it just ate up that, and that was like, that should have been the wake up moment when people are like, oh, I love the soda and everything. That should have been the moment where people would have been like, I probably really need to moderate my intake of this stuff, you know. Well, it's just the things that I notice, Fish Guns, you know, when I was a medic. People come in and they ingest all this stuff, and then they wonder why they don't feel good. They think that it's going, you know, the people who take those supplements, they've done their research, right? They know what they're doing, and they know how it affects their body, and they know how to kind of counteract it. But they don't. But just because it works for them, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you, you know. So a lot of people spend all this money and stuff on it. But the same thing with soda. You know, I have cut way back. I used to drink soda like constantly, like just all the time. And finally I'm like, I gotta get out of this. And so actually early on in the pandemic, I completely cut soda out cold turkey. And I started to feel a lot better. But if you drink it constantly, you're just gonna be like, oh, you're gonna be all worn out, and you're just not gonna feel very good. You know, it's, yeah. But yeah, Joseph, you gotta, you know, Nick and I both have implored you to get away from that garbage, and you still go right back to it. But you know, it's your choice. But I'm sure any doctor you talk to is going to say, yeah, you got to cut that out. You got to get that out. You know, you got to drink water, flush it. Just drink water for like 2 or 3 weeks straight and flush it all out of your system. You know, that's what you got to do. But it's your choice. But you know, whenever you start coming in and talk about, oh, my stomach hurts and I don't feel well, Well, you know why. And we're telling you this because we care about you, Joseph. It's not like we're trying to buck you about. It's, you know, if you look into it, all that stuff is not helping you really at all. Yep, exactly, Chris. That was exactly it. And so that's why it was like a pick-me-up. Everybody's like, oh, I feel great. And then they crash. And they're like, oh, why did that happen? And they didn't connect it at the time. That's what it was. Well, then drink it, Joseph. You don't need the energy drink. Your body needs the water more than it needs that energy drink. What, the water? You can't stand the water, or you can't stand Coca-Cola? I'm confused, Joseph. Well, you know, hey, your body needs the water. That's the important part. If you deny your body water, sooner or later you're going to, it's going to catch up to you. You're going to get those gallbladder stones, the kidney stones, and just, well, kidney stones more than anything, not the gallbladder stones, but you're going to get kidney stones, and then you're going to have to deal with that whole problem, which is not going to be very pleasant. So, yeah, you got to drink water to keep that system flushed out, man. I know I don't like it either, but I try to drink more water than anything else now because I have to. But oh, you don't like them? Oh, okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But what you're replacing it with or what you're using isn't any better, really. So, well, yes, that's exactly. It keeps you going, so. Don't spend money on an energy drink that isn't going to do anything for you. Okay? That's the key. You're just wasting money. Quite honestly. I think I've heard that before too, Chris. I don't know if that's really the case, but yeah, I've heard that before. I don't know if that's like an urban legend or what, but I've heard that. You know, there's always the saying, yeah, exactly. You can get a little, some kind of a flavoring to put in there, just so you. I mean, that's what I had to do when I was in Iraq. The water was kind of just blah, and so I would put in like a lemonade flavor, you know, just so that I would drink it. You know. So it was tolerable, but it probably wasn't. It was a better option than not drinking water at all. But yeah, there's things you can do to make it taste a little bit easier, I guess. All right, so we are coming up on our arrival point. We're going to turn that away. We're going to fly over those markers. Let's zoom out a little bit more here. Alright, so there's 10 nautical miles. I zoomed in, not out, but zoomed in. So we're just going to follow this. Let's see, 15, 25. Alright, so yeah. So that's what we got left coming up. All that stuff. So we should be on the ground here pretty soon. Yeah, because you just crash. Your body, your system goes like, oh, this. You know, you get that sugar spike or whatever. Your body's like, yeah, you know, you're all energetic, and then all of a sudden, you just crash. I used to do that when I drank Red Bull.
Alice 505 Kansas City Center, altimeter 30.27
So, yeah. You're all energetic for a while, then all of a sudden you just crash, and you're just like, oh, what is going on? Oh, you know, you just, yeah, you feel like garbage. So. All right. I'm going to stretch for just a moment here. I'll be right back, folks.
Addie's Flight 05, you are 56 miles northeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 26 left approach via Tango Oscar Yankee transition. Clear to Tango Oscar Yankee.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 26 left approach via Tango Oscar Yankee transition. Cleared to Tango Oscar Yankee Addis 505.
What am I going for, Joseph? You say go for it. What is it that I'm going for? All right, so I heard we're cleared. We have our transition coming up. I saw that. I heard it. I was walking around trying to. Let's have a look here what the message was. Transition cleared to toy. Okay. I remember that being one of the markers, but all right. Huh, all right. Oh, well, thank you, Joseph. I appreciate your signing off on my stretching. Let's just have a
Addie's
look
Flight
here.
05, contact Kansas City Center on 127.7. Good day.
127.7 for Addis 505. Kansas City
There's our
Center,
top of descent, so we're going to start descending
4,000
here.
feet. Addis 505 Kansas City Center altimeter 30.31. Continue to Tango Oscar Yankee as planned.
Go. That plugged in. I'm not seeing that marker. Where would it be? Huh. It must be a little bit closer to the airport because I'm not seeing it amongst all this stuff. We'll just have to keep an eye on that. Mr. Addis, what are you like today? Looks like we're not quite at. Oh, we're hovering right. Oh, there we go. We're at the right spot now. Just keep an eye on things. While we're flying, we'll just keep an eye on our map here. Ugh. Yeah, I gotta get up and move around a little bit more often since we've had some pretty cold weather overnight. So yeah, I gotta move around a little bit more. Otherwise, if I sit too long, I'm gonna just kind of like, ugh. Looks like I'm gonna block my body up or something. Right, so there's that marker there. We should go right on to EE. It'll pop up here once we pass Wise. Oh, look at that. Somebody needs to get out here and plow these roads. What's going on here? I don't see any plowed roads at all. It's like they just didn't even bother today. It couldn't be arsed. Cheers, Amella. We'll catch you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. Thanks for popping in for a while.
Contact Kansas City Center on 128.1. Good day.
Get a little bump here with the weather.
Going to 128.1 Addis 505.
Looks like
Kansas City Center, Addis 505.
That's the name of the point.
505 Kansas City Center, altimeter 30.31. Continue to Tango Oscar Yankee as planned.
That's right. It's a short run to our next point, only 7 point something nautical miles away, so that won't take us long to get there. And the next point should be Desith. Now, if we look at our flight plan, so we can keep that open, and we can see once we pass ERR, it'll show us the next waypoint. Even if we're not seeing the marker in front of us. All right, we're getting there. Gone a little bit past an hour and a half, but I think that's because for part of the flight we were facing a headwind, pretty significant headwind, so we weren't getting anywhere fast, so it did slow us down. So I think when we come into our approach there, we should be coming into the wind, so it should make for a pretty easy landing. I won't drop the flaps all the way down, we'll just manage our speed with the throttle. I'll put just 10 degree flaps and we should be fine. But we can drop it if we need to. Do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out today. Nice to see everybody here. Be back tomorrow on the 737 MAX, Oakland to Las Vegas. Hopefully everything will go well on that one. Almost there. Well, thank you, Joseph. Lovely to have you here. So that marker there where it says TOD, that's our top of descent. Now we should, from there we should descend to 2,000 feet in preparation for landing. Alright, here we go. Here's the next one coming up. 3, 2. Oh, it's really, there we go. 3, 2, 1. Getting a little bit back on course here. Bit of a crosswind. Let's zoom out just a bit and kind of look at things from just a little bit more. Alright, so alright, now something doesn't seem right there. So it seems like we're going to come around and then we're going to have to circle around and line up. I wasn't counting on that part. So, yeah, looks like we're going to go here, we're going to cross, we're going to turn left, and then keep turning left, and then line up. So that's how the approach is set up, apparently, or that portion of the flight is set up. So let's zoom out a little bit more. I'm still not seeing that marker. It says we're cleared to TOY. Interesting. Yeah, I don't see that marker in that mix of stuff anywhere. At least not yet. Okay, interesting. Alright, so it doesn't look like it connects after all. Alright, so what we'll do is once we get up to here, let's see if we can scroll through this. Oops. 6. Okay, so from once we get to there, then we that marker there, Mansick, will activate the approach. So yeah, that's what we'll do. All right. We may have to, I might have to fly it in myself. Because this doesn't seem... Something's not right here. See, I think that's for like the missed approach stuff, to line you back up if you miss the runway. Let's just see if we can't well, if we have to, I just might fly it in manually. Six left, so let's see if we have 259 degrees. So I can dial that in, and that'll, I can use the heading mode, and that'll take us right to the airport. But I may have to cross over into this mark here in order to get it lined up correctly. Okay, we should be passing that marker here any second now, and then I think we should get our call to go to 2,000 feet. So we're lined up, or at the correct altitude. Oh, that's an airport. Never mind. No, that's a marker there. Now, I could probably go direct to that marker from our point here, and that should get us on track. Let me just see if I bring that up.
Addis 505, contact St. Louis approach on 126.5. Good day.
126.5 for Addis 505. St. Louis approach Addis 505, 4,000 feet. Addis 505 St. Louis approach altimeter 30.29er. Continue to Tango Oscar Yankee as planned.
029, okay. See, I kind of think that marker there that keeps showing up is H.O. Horus. I don't think I can go. Well, there's a way I can go direct there. I could dial it in, I guess. I would have to.
Addis 505 descend and maintain 2,500 feet. Descend and maintain 2,500 feet. Addis 505. Addis 505. You are 17 miles northeast of Spirit. Contact Spirit Tower on 124.75 when inbound on the approach. Tower on 124.75 Addis 505. Spirit Tower Addis 505 17 miles northeast, inbound ILS runway 26 left approach. Addis 505 Spirit Tower. Altimeter tree 0.29 wind tree 42 at 7. Cleared ILS runway 26 left approach. Cleared ILS runway 26 left approach, Addis 505.
Another airport just below us. Alright, I'm going to get a little bit closer and then we'll activate the vector to final. That's what I got to do. Let's do that now. Should be turning, but it's not. There it goes. All right. Now we're set up. Perfect. Turn a little bit more, turn a little bit more. There we go. All right, now we're getting lined up. Ooh, wow. Look at that. Luckily we're not flying in snow right now, but it looks like we're going to have some mist up ahead there. Slow down a little bit. heck of a crosswind coming from our front right there. Oh, we're getting bumped around quite a bit here. Now if I hit approach mode, will it lock in or not? Yeah, I don't think we're... I don't think that one's working. Nope. All right. Now if I switch... Activate approach. We just have to hand fly it in ourselves. Yep, we're gonna have to hand fly it in ourselves. That's okay. We can do that. Ooh, I need to defrost the windows. And some ice on the windows here. Let's see if I activate the autopilot. Will it? Oh. It doesn't seem like we're... No, it's not really lining us up. It doesn't seem like, although maybe we are. Yeah, it's not...
Addis 505 wind 25 15. Clear to land runway 26 left. Clear to land runway 26 left Addis 505.
Ooh, boy, this thing is really fighting me now. It really wants to keep climbing. Alright, we'll just land it ourselves. We won't rely on the system. We got this. Boy, that wind is really making it difficult. go. Really wants to keep nosing up. No, that helps bleed off the speed. Man, it makes it much more difficult to control the aircraft. Boy, it's really icing up on the window. Put the defroster on. Look at that. Brr. No, we're really a bit low now. I think we're a little bit too low. We're in danger of stalling too. We're coming in way low. See, kind of see the runway there on the system. Come on, plane, work with me here. Ooh, crap. Oh, wow, okay. I don't know what just happened there, but we're on the ground, that's for sure. Wow, that was tough. Well, lesson learned there. Yeah, that was not working very well, but all right, let's turn over here. On behalf of myself and First Officer Addies, welcome to the Spirit of St. Louis Airport. Local time is, I think, an hour? Might be 7:25 in the morning. We do appreciate with you that just happened. Yeah, it did, Addies. You're absolutely right. It sure did. Well, I think what we should have done is to got going.
Turn next taxiway.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I think we had a bit of icing. Yeah, we sure did. That's probably part of the problem. The plane was icing up. Yep. Even though I don't have it on, it may have impacted that. But we're on the ground. Wasn't my best landing, but we're here. So anyway, as I was saying, we know that you have many options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures, and we are glad that you flew with us today. Do join us tomorrow in the 737 MAX going from Oakland to Las Vegas. Should be a good flight.
Contact ground on 121.7. 121.7.
It's fine, Joseph. We got it. It's all good.
Spirit ground, Addis 505 taxi to parking.
Addis 505 taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Alpha Addis 505.
Yeah, look at that. You got ice all over the front there. So I'm guessing that's what, even though I don't have icing turned on, I'm kind of guessing that's what caused the problem. Yeah, it's not broken, Joseph. Even if we crash, it's fine. It's a lesson learned. That's the important part. Get across the grass there. So yeah, let's have a look here up front. Just see how bad that icing was. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, look at that. Props all iced up. A lot of ice here on the edge of the wings. So even with it off, I'm wondering if it's still like created that sense of that the engine was basically seizing up because it was. So let's just have a look. So I know they have a thing for the prop heat, which I probably should have put on a lot earlier. But I don't think they have anything for the actual engine de-ice. So, yeah, kind of interesting, but... Alright, well, let's just shut down our lights and everything. We'll shut down the plane here in a second. So thank you all for coming in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Bit of a lesson today. That's for sure. Alright, let's turn off our batteries. There we go. Alright, hour 44. Yeah, a little bit longer, but we got credit for the landing. But yeah, that should be it for today. Thank you all for coming in. I will see you all tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, 11:30 UK, 7:37 Max. Do join us for that. I will see you all then. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, if you can enjoy a Monday. Peace. Live long and prosper.